If Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, his veteran presence and unique playmaking could redefine the team's approach and future outlook. Here's a focused analysis on what his arrival would mean. 1. Immediate impact on the offense. Rodgers brings decades of experience and a proven ability to control games, especially in high-pressure situations. His deep understanding of defenses and precise decision-making could help stabilize and elevate the Steelers' offense. Expect more timely passes and smarter play calling as the team looks to maximize his strengths, particularly in the red zone, with receivers getting consistent, well-placed targets. 2. Mentorship and team culture. At 41, Rodgers is a seasoned leader who can mentor young players, including those who may be in line to develop behind him. His influence in the locker room could be transformative, helping to build a culture of accountability and resilience while smoothing the transition for whichever young quarterback the team eventually develops. Number 3, draft and roster implications. With Rodgers signing, the Steelers might not need to spend a first-round pick on a quarterback, which would allow them to reallocate resources to address other roster areas. However, Rodgers' contract would take a significant chunk of cap space, potentially forcing the team to release high-salary veterans and restructure their roster around his leadership. 4. Fan and media narrative. Rodgers' arrival is likely to be polarizing among fans. Some will celebrate the signing of one of the NFL's greats, while others may debate if his style and contract truly fit Pittsburgh's long-term vision. Rodgers' proven ability to lead a franchise in critical moments could quickly become a defining narrative, shifting the team's identity and expectations. Number 5, long-term outlook. Ideally, Rodgers' experience will serve as a bridge, providing immediate stability while the Steelers gradually develop a younger quarterback for the future. His success in Pittsburgh could mean transitioning from a short-term solution into a key component of the team's evolving identity, keeping the franchise competitive even during rebuilding years. In summary, if Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, his impact would be multifaceted: on-court leadership, veteran mentorship, strategic draft savings, and a cultural boost for a team in need of a steady hand. Though his contract could limit financial flexibility, the potential upside of a stabilized and smarter offense could justify the move as a pivotal moment in the franchise's trajectory. According to ESPN and Jets insider Rich Cimini, there's a possibility that Aaron Rodgers could bring one of his closest receivers along with him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cimini revealed that Lazard may be holding off on restructuring his current contract with the New York Jets, as he weighs the opportunity to reunite with Rodgers if the quarterback signs with the Steelers. Rodgers, who famously brought much of the Packers' receiver talent with him when he left for the Jets, appears to still have that habit. Lazard's situation is reportedly at a crossroads. He could remain with the Jets if he accepts a significant pay cut and contract restructure, potentially dropping his base salary from $11 million to around $2.75 million. However, if a reunion with Rodgers becomes a real possibility in Pittsburgh, Lazard might opt to make the move rather than take the Jets' reduced offer. While the Steelers have yet to secure Rodgers' signature, the narrative is steadily shifting toward a when, not if scenario. With Rodgers' free agent decision looming and his potential influence on roster moves, the possibility of the veteran receiver's reunion with his former teammate adds another intriguing layer to Pittsburgh's quarterback and wide receiver saga heading into the 2025 season.
What's going on, football fans? The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and a recent report has sent shockwaves through the league. According to ESPN's very own Ian Rapoport, the options for legendary free agent quarterback Aaron Rodgers have reportedly narrowed down to just two: sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers or hang up his cleats and retire. This news has ignited a firestorm of speculation and excitement in the Steel City, as the possibility of landing a four-time MVP is certainly enticing. So, let's assume the domino falls, and Aaron Rodgers does indeed sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the next few weeks. What exactly happens next? We're breaking it all down for you. The video you sent over paints a fascinating picture of the potential fallout from this blockbuster move. First and foremost, a Rodgers signing would have a huge impact on the Steelers' upcoming draft. Now, The article mentions the 2025 NFL Draft, which, considering today's date, is the draft that just concluded. Assuming this scenario is still relevant for future discussions. If Rodgers were to sign, we would still anticipate the Steelers selecting a quarterback in the draft. However, the calculus would likely change significantly. Instead of potentially using their first-round pick on a young quarterback like Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe, the Steelers would likely shift their focus to other positions of need. Knowing they have a proven veteran under center for the immediate future, they might still look for a developmental quarterback later in the draft. But the urgency for a day-one starter would be gone. Next up, expect the city of Pittsburgh to remain divided, at least initially. A signing of this magnitude is bound to create plenty of debate and disagreement among the Steelers faithful. Some fans will be ecstatic at the prospect of having a quarterback of Rodgers' caliber leading their team, envisioning Super Bowl aspirations. Others might be more hesitant, considering his age, recent injury history, and the potential cost of his contract. There will be plenty of water-cooler talk and social media debates about whether Rodgers will be a significant upgrade or a risky gamble for the Steelers. One group that would undoubtedly be thrilled by this move is the Steelers' receiving corps. You can absolutely bet that when the news breaks that Aaron Rodgers has signed, George Pickens and other Steelers receivers will be ecstatic. Rodgers has a reputation for making his receivers better and isn't afraid to go to his playmakers, regardless of the play call or what offensive coordinator Arthur Smith might have initially intended. Pickens, in particular, with his talent and big play ability, could see a significant boost in his production with Rodgers throwing him the ball. However, a player of Aaron Rodgers' stature and pedigree doesn't come cheap. The roster moves to follow would be another significant consequence of this signing. The article mentions that the Steelers have around $32 million in cap space. While that seems like a decent amount, a contract for Aaron Rodgers is going to eat up a significant portion of that, if not more. To make the financials work, the Steelers would likely need to make some tough decisions, potentially leading to the release of other veteran players in order to create the necessary cap space. This is a common occurrence when teams sign high-priced free agents, and the Steelers would likely need to navigate these challenges to build a competitive roster around Rodgers. But the potential impact of an Aaron Rodgers signing might not stop there. The video you provided also hints at the possibility of Rodgers bringing a familiar face with him to Pittsburgh. According to ESPN and Jets insider Rich Cimini, wide receiver Allen Lazard may be holding off on restructuring his contract with the New York Jets to see if a reunion with Rodgers on the Steelers becomes a reality. Cimini speculates that Lazard might be willing to stay in New York, but only if he agrees to a significant pay cut and contract restructure, potentially down to around $2.75 million from his $11 million base salary. The crucial point here is that Cimini believes Lazard's hesitation is directly tied to the possibility of joining Rodgers in Pittsburgh. This wouldn't be the first time Rodgers has been associated with bringing his former teammates with him. When he made the move from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets, several Packers players followed him. The potential of Allen Lazard, a receiver Rodgers has a history with and trusts, joining the Steelers would further bolster their receiving room and provide Rodgers with a familiar target. So, to recap, if Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we can expect a ripple effect throughout the organization. Their draft strategy would likely shift. The fanbase would be buzzing with both excitement and skepticism. The receivers would be thrilled. Roster moves would be necessary to accommodate his salary. And there's even the possibility of a familiar teammate joining him in Pittsburgh. It's a scenario that would undoubtedly make the Steelers a major storyline heading into the next NFL season. What are your thoughts on this potential move? Would Aaron Rodgers be a good fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers? What kind of impact do you think he would have on the team? And do you think Allen Lazard might follow him to Pittsburgh? Share your opinions and predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more NFL news and analysis, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this developing story. We'll see you in the next one.